Stage1 91 version 2.51. And I'm just going to give it around 3/4 throttle. Well folks, welcome to Netcruzer Cars. 2018 Golf R. I know you're not going to believe me. Some of you don't believe me when you see those wheels on. It's because I live in Canada and it's still wintry enough where I don't want to put my summers on, but it's a real Golf R. Anyway, I've done plenty of tune updates on this. Earlier in 2020, I got equilibrium tuning, and I've gone through a couple of tune revisions since then. There's a new one that just came out, 2.51, which is specifically has fixes for 2018 to improve launch control, and it also tweaks the fueling and the oil temperature. So we're going to do that update and then just go for a drive and get used to that and see what that's like. I'm not sure what Netcruzer channel this is going to go on yet. I have a main Netcruzer RC channel, which has previously had all of my Golf R stuff, OBD11 tune updates, but I'm trying to phase over to the car channel. What we're going to do is a Cobb access port tune update. That's one of the main reasons why I like going with equilibrium tuning, is because you have a Cobb access port, which allows me to control when I do the tunes, how I run the tunes, when I want to update, what I want to change. It gives the person, the owner, the control to do whatever they want, which I really like. A couple prep things you want to do before you do a tune. Make sure your battery's up to charge. You want to make sure that you have your key just in the car, not on you, because if you leave, you could screw that up. Then you want to go into the car menu. Whoops, you want to go into the main menu, go over to settings, and just make sure that you have Bluetooth turned off. So disable your Bluetooth. That's just, it has a little bit of a bug sometimes if you don't. So those are the main things I do. And now we'll go in here, and I have this connected to the OBD port right here and just wired up. So all I have to do is go into tune change, and we're going to go to change ECU map. And I'm just going to choose the 2.51. Some of the tunes I had previously, this was the 2.0 burbles and S mode. I had recently gone, this is what I'm currently on right now. This one does not have Cobb launch control. If you have a DSG transmission, I highly suggest that you do not choose Cobb launch control if you're getting an EQT tune. One of my previous videos was a avoid kickdown for best launch control. That was testing using Cobb launch control, and I got some really harsh shifts. I've since decided to get rid of Cobb launch control, and like all of my harsh shift problems went away. And I find that the car shifts launches better too off OEM type programming. If you have a manual transmission, consider getting Cobb launch control, because it does have some improvements for that. But if you have DSG, I think the Volkswagen DSG software is much better. And then if you get a tune on top of it, then it just performs better. So that's what I've done. But DSG is not being touched here. What we are going to change is the ECU. So I'm going to go down here to version 2.51, burbles in S mode, and I'm doing a Stage1 91 octane tune. It's because I don't have access to 93, 94 regular, and I don't have access to E30 ethanol. And it begins. Okay, please turn the key to the off position, which is just that. And then turn the key to the on position. And you press OK. Change mag successful. And off, wait 15 seconds, and then I can start the vehicle. Okay, starting. And then I can go into my gauges and everything should connect. Then there's a couple things that I have to do, a couple things after I do an ECU tune. So first thing is my driver's assistant. So yeah, on a 2018 you press here, on the 2019, 2020 you press here. It always turns lane assist off, so I'm just going to turn lane assist back on. That's one thing it always resets. And then just go back into your menu and turn back on Bluetooth settings, turn your Bluetooth back on. Make sure that your modes are actually correct still, your custom modes, those should all be fine. And I think we're pretty much ready. This will be a test drive of Stage1 91 version 2.51 on a 2018 Golf R DSG. I also have their DSG EQT tune as well, so my transmission is tuned, but we're not going to play around with that too much other than maybe a launch control, but I don't know. It's a long weekend, lots of police activity, so we're going to be chill. I just want to go for a test drive and see what it's like. So far so good. There's nothing abnormal happening. Everything's shifting and running smooth, and we're still just getting oil temperature up, but the overall benefit of doing this tune update is potentially 10-degree lower Celsius oil temps, because on the previous tunes I would hover usually between 110, 120 Celsius for oil temp, 120 on the hot summer days, 110 pretty much all the time. And then before I ever tuned, it would always be just 100 degrees Celsius for oil temp when it was up to temp. It would almost never go above that. So I think they're trying to get that back down to OEM type oil load for thermals, which would be good overall long term. Anyway. It's a fun car. I'm just in normal drive, cruise mode. We're just gonna do our little test drive and see how it goes. Now I'm in sport mode. The jingling is because I'm doing this test drive, returning some bottles. I'm going to do a donation bottle drive where the donations of your empties, cash from those, when they cash them in, will help rescues, pet rescues. Okay, I'm just going to go down to sport mode. We're coming up to this stoplight here. I'm just going to give it a semi-aggressive, just normal acceleration off the line. No launch control or anything because it's a little bit dusty and dirty still. I'm still on my winters and the road is rough, but currently in sport mode, auto sport mode, and I'm just going to give it around 3/4 throttle. Everything's good. Nothing abnormal, and oil temp is up to 90, so I'm just going to cruise around for a little bit. I want to see what I can get the peak oil temp up to now with this tune. Alright, I've just been driving around for a while, haven't really been showing too much of it. I did my bottle drop off, that's great, that was for a good cause, so it's going to save some animals. And the whole point of doing the tune 2.51 is to check if the oil temp reduced, and it does. So normally I would be idling around 100 degrees C. I'm sitting here at 93 after a half an hour drive, so it totally works. It does exactly what they say. Not that I didn't believe it, because EQT has been very good at explaining what each tune revision does or why they're choosing to update it, and then you have the choice if you want to buy it or not, and I love that. So by having a access port, I have control about if I want to do it or not, and it's relatively cheap, $25 USD for a tune update if you're just updating and with no other changes. If you want to make a base tune change, not to go stage 1 to stage 2, stage 3, but if you want to change something like what I did before, which is get rid of Cobb launch control and go back to OEM launch control, that's a $75 change. If you want to get rid of things like burbles and that's a $75 change. You can make multiple changes in one revision for options at $75. And then if you want to jump up a stage, then it's like a significant price. But I'm very happy with stage 1. I don't see myself going beyond this because I'm very happy with the power level. Also, the laws are changing, and they're changing pretty rapidly. If you now live in California, you can't even buy an access port. They've banned them. You can't buy a downpipe. You can't. All performance mods are getting banned because of regulations, and the tuner car market is going to change significantly over the next 1 to 5 years. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with how much they lock that down. They're trying to make it so that any performance part should not be allowed on a road car. So we're going to see what happens. Anyway, I'm very happy with my Golf R performance level as it is. I'll do some launch control stuff later in the year when it's nicer, after the roads are kind of got rid of the gravelly stuff from the winter and I get my summers on. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new on here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching. If you want to get tune parts, Cobb access ports, because you can still order them if you are not a California resident or any of the states where they've banned these from sale, you can still order them and then try and get it shipped to a friend of yours and get one, because I think having control of your own tunes is awesome and it's worth doing. All right, guys, thanks for watching.